Chapter 1. Listening Before Speaking. Ollie was a quiet boy from a small town. He wanted to speak English in a natural way. He did not want to sound forced or afraid. He wanted to speak like people in real life. He wanted his words to flow like water. One day he asked his teacher, "How do people talk English naturally?" The teacher smiled and said, "First, you must learn to listen." Ali was surprised. He thought speaking was about talking more. But his teacher explained that natural speaking starts with careful listening. Ali began to listen every day. He listened to simple English videos. He listened to short stories. He listened to daily conversations. At first, he did not understand everything. But he did not stop. He listened again and again. He noticed how people joined words. He noticed their tone. He noticed how they used simple sentences. He saw that natural English was not always long or difficult. But it was often short and clear. People said, "How are you?" instead of long greetings. They said, "I think so," or maybe later. Their words were easy, but their tone made them real. Ali also learned that natural speakers do not speak very fast all the time. They pause. They think. They repeat small words. They say, "Well, you know, and I mean." These small words make speech sound real. At first, Ali thought these words were not important. But later he understood they help the speaker feel relaxed. They give time to think. They make the conversation smooth. One evening, Ali sat with his notebook. He wrote simple sentences from a video. He read them aloud. He tried to copy the speaker's voice. He did not try to be perfect. He tried to be natural. He smiled when he made mistakes. He did not feel shame. He knew mistakes were part of learning. Each mistake was a step forward. Ali also practiced listening to daily life English. He listened to people talking about their day. They spoke about school, work, family, and food. Their words were simple. They did not use difficult grammar. They used common phrases. Ali learned phrases like, "That sounds good, I don't think so, and what do you mean?" He practiced these phrases many times. He said them while walking. He said them while looking in the mirror. Slowly, his voice became stronger. One day, Ali met a new student in his class. The student spoke English well. Ali felt nervous, but he remembered his teacher's advice. He listened carefully. He answered with short and clear sentences. He did not try to impress anyone. He simply spoke. When he did not understand, he said, "Can you say that again?" The new student smiled and repeated his words. Ali felt proud. He was not silent anymore. Ali understood something important. Natural English is not about big words. It is about real communication. It is about sharing ideas in a simple way. It is about feeling comfortable. When people talk naturally, they do not think too much about grammar rules. They focus on meaning. They focus on the person in front of them. They listen and respond. Every day, Ali gave himself a small task. One day he focused on greetings. Another day he focused on asking questions. He practiced simple questions like, "Where are you from?" and "What do you like to do?" He noticed that natural conversations often start with questions. Questions help people connect. They keep the talk alive. Ali also learned to copy the rhythm of English. English has a special rhythm. Some words are strong. Some words are soft. When he listened carefully, he could hear the music of the language. He tried to follow this music. At first, it was hard, but slowly, his tongue moved more easily. His sentences became smoother. Weeks passed, and Ali felt more confident. He was not perfect. He still made errors, but he was not afraid. He knew that natural speaking comes step by step. It begins with listening. It grows with practice. It becomes strong with courage. One night, Ali thought about his journey. He remembered his first day. He was shy and quiet. Now he could speak in short conversations. He could share his ideas. He could ask questions. He understood that natural English is not magic. It is habit. It is daily practice. It is listening, copying, and speaking without fear. Ali smiled and closed his notebook. He was ready for the next step. He knew that learning how people talk English naturally was not a short path. It was a long road, but he was walking on it with hope and patience. And this was only the beginning of his story. Chapter 2. Speaking with confidence and comfort, after weeks of listening and practicing, Ali felt ready for the next step. He knew that listening alone was not enough. To speak English naturally, he needed confidence. He needed to feel comfortable with his own voice. At first, he was nervous. He worried about making mistakes. He worried people would not understand him, but he remembered what his teacher said. Mistakes are friends. They help you learn. Speak first, correct later. Ali decided to start small. He began by talking to himself at home. He described simple things in English. I am drinking water. The sun is bright today. I like my book. He spoke slowly. He repeated sentences. He tried different tones. Sometimes he laughed at himself. Sometimes he spoke softly. This practice helped him feel relaxed. His voice sounded more natural. He realized speaking English naturally is about expressing your ideas, not about being perfect. Next, Ali started speaking to his classmates. He asked simple questions. Do you like this game? What is your favorite food? He listened carefully to their answers. He responded with short sentences. He did not try to use big words. He focused on clear communication. His classmates were patient. They smiled. They answered back slowly. Ali felt happy. Each conversation made him more confident. Ali also learned the power of body language. Natural speakers do not only use words, they use gestures, eye contact, and facial expressions. When Ali nodded while listening, people felt he was interested. When he smiled, people felt he was friendly. He learned to use his hands a little, not too much. to show meaning. He learned that gestures make conversations easier and real. Another important lesson Ali learned was to pause. In English, natural speakers do not speak in a rush. They pause between sentences. They pause to think. They pause to let the other person answer. Ali practiced this by reading short stories aloud. After each sentence, he paused for 2 seconds. It felt strange at first, but slowly, his speech became smoother. His sentences had rhythm. He did not feel pressure to speak quickly. Ali also noticed how people ask for repetition. He tried it himself. When he did not understand a word, he said, "Can you say that again?" Or "I did not understand." People repeated slowly and clearly. Ali realized it is okay not to know everything. Asking for help is natural in conversation. It helps learning and makes communication real. Ali's next challenge was joining a group conversation. At first, he felt shy. Many voices sounded fast. He could not follow everything. But he remembered his listening skills. He focused on key words. He caught small phrases. He tried to answer with 1 or 2 simple sentences. Sometimes, he nodded silently. Sometimes, he asked a small question. Each time he joined the conversation, he felt more confident. He learned to speak English naturally even in groups. He also practiced storytelling. Ali loved short stories. He tried to tell one to his friend in English. He began with simple sentences. A cat went to the garden. It saw a bird. The bird flew away. Caw. He used gestures and pauses. He added small words like then, so, and but. His friend listened carefully and smiled. Ali felt proud. He realized that natural English comes from sharing your ideas. Simply and clearly. Finally, Ali learned the importance of daily practice. He spoke in English every day. He spoke at home, at school, and sometimes online with friends. Each day, he tried new words and phrases. Each day, he listened and copied rhythms. Slowly, English became part of his life. It was not just a subject in school. It was a tool to share ideas, ask questions, and make friends. By the end of this chapter, Ali understood a key secret. Speaking English naturally is not about grammar or big words. It is about confidence, comfort, and daily practice. It is about listening, repeating, and communicating without fear. He knew mistakes were normal. He knew pauses and gestures were important. He knew small words make speech real. Ali felt ready to continue his journey, eager to speak English naturally in any situation. Chapter 3. Thinking in English and Everyday Practice. Ali had learned to listen carefully and speak with confidence. But he noticed a new challenge. When he tried to speak, sometimes he translated from his own language. This made his speech slow and awkward. His teacher explained, "To speak naturally, you must think in English." Ali was curious. Think in English? How? He asked. His teacher smiled and said, Every word you think, every idea you plan, try to form it in English first. Ollie realized this was the next step on his journey. He began with small exercises. At home, he looked around and described things in English. This is my pen. The door is open. I am drinking tea. He forced himself not to translate. He imagined the English words directly. At first, it was hard. His brain tried to go back to his language. But slowly, English words came faster. Thinking in English helped him form sentences naturally. It also reduced pauses. He could speak with flow. Ollie also practiced talking about his day. In the morning, he thought in English, I woke up at 6. I brushed my teeth. I ate breakfast. In the evening, he reflected, I studied English. I spoke with my friend. I felt happy. These simple thoughts made his mind ready for real conversation. He noticed that natural English came when he used English in daily life, not only in books. Okay? Another important skill Ali learned was repeating phrases and patterns. He listened to common sentences people use every day. How are you? I don't know. I like it. Can you help me? He repeated them many times. He said them aloud, quietly, and while walking, he noticed that using these phrases automatically made his speech smoother. When he met someone, these phrases popped into his mind naturally. His speech sounded real, not forced. Ali also practiced thinking of alternatives. If he forgot a word, he used a simple word instead. For example, he wanted to say delicious, but he forgot. He said, it tastes good. If he forgot difficult, he said, it is not easy. Natural speakers do not stop because of missing words. They find simple ways to continue. Ali realized this was a key secret. Simple words spoken confidently often sound better than difficult words spoken slowly. Ali also joined online practice groups. He talked to other learners and native speakers. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes he misunderstood. But he never gave up. He asked questions, repeated phrases, and laughed at small errors. He learned new expressions like, that's cool, no way, and I see. He noticed that natural English is full of small, simple expressions that make conversation lively. Listening remained important too. Ali listened to songs, short stories, and daily conversations. He repeated the sentences. He copied the tone and rhythm. He noticed that natural speakers often stress important words and use weak sounds. For smaller words, he practiced this carefully. His speech began to sound more like real English speakers. Ali also made a habit of speaking English at home every day. He described what he was doing, asked questions aloud, and even told stories to his family. His parents sometimes corrected him gently. He did not mind. Every day, his mind became stronger in English. He noticed that thinking in English and speaking in English were becoming one process. His brain did not pause to translate anymore. By the end of this stage, Ollie realized the real secret of speaking English naturally. It was not about memorizing grammar rules or long lists of words. It was about thinking in English, practicing daily, using simple phrases, and communicating ideas clearly. It was about listening carefully, copying rhythms, pausing, asking questions, and staying confident. It was about making English part of life, not just school. Ollie smiled as he reflected on his journey. He remembered the shy boy who could not speak a single sentence freely. Now he could listen, speak, think, and respond naturally in English. He knew the journey was not over. He would continue practicing every day. But he also knew he had discovered the secret. People talk English naturally when they listen, think, and live in the language every day. Ali felt proud, ready, and excited for every new conversation.